Hello everybody and welcome to a very cool episode of Factorio. In this I'm going to show you build codes. I haven't seen anybody do this for Factorio yet, although it's entirely possible, of course, and I'm sure it's accomplished through a variety of means. Okay, so to back up, what the hell am I talking about? Well, first off, check this out. With this factory layout, everything is going to be on one belt. For everything, all the materials. I'm foregoing the one-for-one build philosophy I usually go with, and instead, each factory, as it receives a proper build code, like one stone, or as you might call it as an electrical engineer, A1, as it detects that this is in a specific control circuit box, it will pick up materials and make that. As the factory goes along and it receives a build code for stone 2, it will begin building transport belts, so on and so forth, with coal 1 for more of our copper and circuitry based needs, and stone 3 all the way to stone 8 for our assembling machine right here. So just in case you're a little confused by what I just described, basically we have 8 programs that are running, 8 build programs, and this factory will bootstrap your entire Factorio from the ground up. So basically, as soon as I flip these two around, like so, they are going to start deploying resources, because these guys detect stone and coal in their control circuit boxes. And they'll start deploying, and this is going to build to this specification that we programmed it to. So over here, what we've programmed it to do is, hey, if you have nothing, no iron gears for this program, go ahead and filter in the one stone. So that correlates to over here with the one stone. And basically, what's going to happen is this factory is only going to build, it's going to build everything in order from the ground up, all the way from iron wheels to assembling machine 2s. Now, just so you can have an insight into the master plan of all this, I am building this. I'm building 100 transporter belts, 50 regular inserters, 20 long-handed, 20 fast inserter, 10 smart, 10 assembling machine 1, and 10 assembling machine 2. And this is pretty much the basic building supplies of any factory. You're going to need all of these. So what I wanted was a factory that would pretty much get me up off the ground. But I really hate wasting resources, having all my iron and copper, laying around, on the belts themselves. I really hate having to build a bunch of assembly machines on a one-for-one basis because it takes up a lot of space. The awesomeness of this factory, look how small this is. And you could probably even get this more compact with some work. But, I really, this is going to take, this minimal amount of resources, and when it's all done, it's all stored away, ready for you to come by and pick it up and use it. So basically, this program's going to run from stone 1 to stone 8, all the way down here. And they'll pick it up, and as the stones add up, obviously stone 2 will trigger stone 2 programs. So there's only going to be 2 stones here, obviously total in all the green boxes, so that's going to trigger the second program. And the same for coal. Once we reach 500 cable, it's going to filter in this coal, and it's going to trigger coal 2 to start. Coal 2 is our circuits. So basically, we're going to have everything all in one line. Very minimum use of resources, which is awesome. Very minimum use of space, which is great for Death World games. And the machine will automatically build. And when it's done, building all these things that I have right here, it has a master reset program built into it. So as soon as we have more than 20 assembling machines... Oh, wait, I'm only supposed to build 10, huh? I'll adjust that. There we go. I forgot to... I've really adjusted this factory quite a bit. 1 second here. This is stone 8 also. There we go. You got to make sure. This factory can be a little confusing. It's very precise. Even one mistake can send this whole thing crashing down into oblivion, but it is worth the effort. Having everything on one belt, having everything use minimum amount of resources, and furthermore, having the ability to control when this entire master program runs is awesome. So basically, once we reach 10 assembling machines, this is going to filter in the plate. Once that filters in, all of these are programmed at one plate to take out that one stone, which means that all the machines here will read 0 stone, 0 coal. These will stop filtering all the raw resources. These will stop intaking, of course, and deploying, and everything else will stop because there's no build code being read by the entire factory. That's the ingenious part. Cool part is you have a secondary backup that says, hey, whenever you have 2 copper plates in here, go ahead and filter them out. It's only going to take 1 out, and then it'll stop, and then it'll get to right here, and then of course this machine will check, do I still have 10? If it does, it'll put it back in. The whole machine will shut itself down instead of going over, overworking itself and building everything from scratch. You don't build a billion of things that you don't need. That's kind of the genius part of this factory. You're going to have plenty of everything that you need to expand your factory, and this is going to be in use forever, pretty much. Anything that's unused simply spins around, goes up here for every 1 inserter. Since only 1 build program is running at a time, you only need 1 smart insert. Pick it back up and put it back in storage for later. So anything unused for raw just simply goes right up back around and is recycled, put right back into the storage bins. To control everything, let me see here. I just want to make sure I explain everything right. It's building it from the ground up. Oh, so to kind of go into depth about how this was built and how to control the flow of everything, what you need to do is you also need to control the dispatch. The dispatch of materials is something that we never controlled in the one-for-one process. In the one-for-one, we said, fuck it, we're not going to control dispatch, we're not going to control supply. I'm sorry, I messed that all up, guys. We're not going to control supply because that's too complicated, because it does look like this. It is a complicated setup. We're only going to control dispatch, which means, basically what you saw in my LPs of, hey, after you get done building 20 laser turrets, don't filter anymore. And it's smart inserter. And the smart inserter says, okay, I built 20, I'm not putting any more into this chest. I've detected that there's 20 in the smart chest, so we're good to go. This is more sophisticated, but it's also trickier. What you have to do is you have to rig each inserter to filter at a certain build code for each material that you need. This can become quite complicated. For example, this requires not only the assembly machine 1 and the iron plates and the iron gears and the electronic circuits, so we actually need 3 different smart chest filters for this, for each material. This can really make a supply line really complicated, because it's like, okay, we need another smart inserter just for this build code. For build code, what is this? Build code 7, build code 8. Everything that requires an iron wheel, we need to have a separate inserter that's assigned just to that build code. So basically 2, build code 3, build code 4, build code stone 7, build code stone 8. There's some that are skipped just because they get coal, and I was doing some other stuff down here. Some of the ingredients here don't need iron wheels all the way up, like the fast inserters don't need iron wheels. But I still need a build code for them, so they're build code 5. That's why you don't see build code 5 up here. It doesn't need an iron wheel. So like if you were to go down here though for circuits, build code, we have all the build codes all the way up to 8. And basically whenever that build code is read by the network, okay, build code stone 8, go. And it will basically start filtering not only circuits but iron wheels, and all the way down here we have build code stone 8 for assembly machine 1s. So basically the entire network will always be deploying the exact materials it needs for the exact build code that you've assigned it. It's super efficient. It takes up a very low amount of space, which I'm a huge fan of. It's great. And best of all, it's going to turn itself off here whenever it completes its mission, leaving you completely free to go about your day, building far off wherever you want. It uses very minimal power. It's extremely power efficient because only the machines that are in use, that are receiving the build code orders, are turned on. That includes all your inserters and everything. So basically you don't need to have shit on all the time at all. It's only when you want the program to be run. Okay, so the only thing I really haven't covered so far is basically these, how to keep everything in line. So you have the build codes, right, that are distributing. What you need to do to balance the situation out is you can only put 2 inserters, or 3, a maximum of 3 inserters, like I have right here, per smart chest. So what you need to do is you need a buffer, and this is what this guy's for. Basically, he says, hey, if there's less than 1, fill it up with just 1. And basically, as these guys need, and their build code comes up in the program, they'll distribute. This guy keeps it filled. He doesn't need to be smart about it. He just needs to detect that there's less than one. It's a pretty simple job, right? So, with that being said, this is my smart factory. You can easily make this applicable to any part of the Factorio build chain, and it's very small. It doesn't take that long. Like, it's building all this pretty quickly, just like while we're talking. And like I said, it really frees you up to do everything else. You could even switch these build codes, to something else. You could switch all these to, whatever you needed. And I just built this to show that, hey, you can build this, get yourself really up off the ground. It'll control itself. Whenever it's done, you don't need to worry about it. You come back, reset it, run the program again if you need the materials. Great. You can even make it more intelligent if you wanted to where you could take certain materials out and, it could detect that, hey, you took this out, and to start the build code for that. That would require a lot more add-ons here. That would be a lot more difficult, but it's possible. So there is some congestion, but for the most part, like I said, nothing's going to get by here. Occasionally I do see that some things sneak by, which shouldn't happen, but it seems to be a bug of some kind. I can't really nail it down, but basically, we have only one one smart inserter that's filtering cable, and one that's pulling in. So why is cable getting past it? The belt speed is the same speed. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So that'll happen occasionally. All you do is just go pick it up. It's not a big deal, but it'll sit in this loop forever, so you don't want it to jam up your supplies. But yeah, we'll sit here actually and observe this, but it'll give you everything you need. You know what? That's interesting. This is okay. So I think I missed something. This was working great just before. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, it's not supposed to build 200, just supposed to build 100 of those. Is this not connected? Should be. Let's see here real quick. A little bit of troubleshooting. But yeah, everything was working great, and I decided to restart, but let's see here. So it's filtering. It's only supposed to be filtering if this less. Let's check this out here. 208. You know what? I think it just built that much. Okay, so it's on stone code 4. I think it's having trouble deploying something. Let's see real quick. Stone code 2. So it's on 4. Okay, it's waiting for circuits. And circuits is waiting for iron plates. And code 3. Oh, this is accidentally taking it out. Ah, see, this is my screw up. So basically, this only takes out if copper is equal to 1. So there we go. Okay, that'll stop fucking up. We'll produce the circuit quota here now. Again, we're getting some leakage here for some weird reason. Really shouldn't be. See, it's like whenever I'm looking at it, it's fine, but whenever I go away, it's not doing its damn job. But for the most part, it's working good. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that was a mess up of mine. But yeah, now everything's back on course. Everything else should run perfectly all the way through to assembly machine 2s. But the concept itself really opens up the doorways in Factorio to... Wow. I mean, this is some pretty simple logic gate stuff. I mean, this is like pretty much, you know... I don't know. I mean, you can program your factories to really build anything now using these build codes. And I just like the fact that you can have everything in a line now with 2 smart inserters, one for output, one for input. It really cuts down on what you need here. And there's no more bottlenecks is the thing of materials. Everything has an even pacing all the time. That's the part about this I love. It's like, hey, I designed this plan all the way up. Now you do got to do a bit of math and decide, hey, what do I need? You know, you can't go willy-nilly, you know, like you normally can in Factorio and run out of resources and then go get more and stuff. You do got to plan this out, because if this system is off, like, it's going to really screw shit up. Most of the factories will just like take more than what you planned for, and then they'll never output, you know, what you need. So this is not a streaming factory that produces depending on what's put into it. You know, it's designed for a very specific purpose, but it's easy to do the math. Just do everything from the ground up. Get everything else calculated that you need. You could even cut out calculations. Like, let's just say instead of, you know, having all this just raw, you could have, like, you know, the raw, and then you could have, like, your intermediaries, where it's like those are always produced no matter what. You always need iron wheels. You always need electronic circuits. You always need, like, science packs or something like that. So you have all those made, and then, you know, they're deployed whenever you a certain build code is needed. You know, you could do it something as simple as that, which would be good for the advanced game, or the late game, where you need a lot of circuits. So let's see here. We are almost to where we have Stone 5, I believe. Stone Code 5's coming up. As soon as we reach that, it'll get filtered. We can see the transition take place. We'll watch it. Should be coming up here in just a second. We were at 41 or 43. But yeah, it's really cool to see it go all the way up, and then boom, it'll reset itself. There you go. Build code 5 achieved. So yeah, and you can use, of course, any of the resources. So you have almost an infinite number of variables, more than what you can actually build within the game. It's pretty fantastic, the level of complexity you can achieve with this. And I was really surprised. I was thinking of ways to, like, have it go back and forth. The next thing I really want to build is going to be a factory that whenever you take an item out, you know, it's like, oh, hey, I just want to grab some circuits or some inserters. Cool. You know, and then the machine detects, oh, hey, I have to stop everything else, reset the system, and build according to what is missing. That would be fantastic. But I mean, this is just a small control board here for running a program. It goes simply from 1 to 8. It's an addition system. That's all it does. That's all I've built here. You know, is it's going to add it up and say, hey, that's ready to do this, ready to go. So these conditions are met for A1 through 8. So, I mean, yeah, it's a very, very simple machine I've built here compared to probably what you could accomplish if you put your mind to it. You know, you could design everything. You know, AND logic gates, OR logic gates, NOR, XORs, I mean, everything. This is nothing new. I mean, this has been around for a while. I've just gotten my hands on it. Again, there's going to be some congestion issues. We're about to hit build code 6. Yep, we just went to build code 6. There's only... Ooh. Let me make sure I did this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this one. Okay, yeah. Alright, we did it right. Cool. So yeah, this is going to completely filter in all the long-handed, and then this is going to start building in for... sorry, this is build code 5. Yeah, cool. So we're waiting on metal here. Did we run out of iron plates? Yeah, we ran out of iron plates for this one. What I did up here for the raw was I had one for the starting, for the iron wheel, since that's the greatest demand. You know, I'm just going to take this right out. And then I had one for if it's greater than 1, so for every other build program. That helps it to where it's like you only ever have one filter going at one time. And since these can only hold one condition per wire, and I wanted to keep it all as simple and open as possible. I wanted to use one wire for everything, for a unified network. That way everything could read from everything. And I only use the reds here to show that, hey, it's less, it's open, you know, for like a lesser condition, basically, that's not really necessary. And it's always a standalone network, too. So, that way everything's not, you know, messing with each other's readings. So yeah, we are actually building the fast inserters. we're almost done with the program pretty much. All we have left to do is build the smart inserters, assembly machine 1s, assembly machine 2s, and then the whole thing will be complete here. And then what we should see is the magic happen. This will filter once we have it greater than 10, and then once we come over as the player and we're like, hey, put one in there, then it'll filter out, and then we take the other one out. The whole program is free to reset and rerun. So it's pretty awesome that way. But otherwise it'll just put it in here. Every one of these is going to take it out, and the whole program will stop. Everything will stop deploying right here. Everything will be stored that's excess over here. And yeah, even the excess will get used up for the most part. I mean, for the most part, you're going to want to go through and collect everything because you're going to want to use all this anyways. There's no reason not to hold on to most of this because you're going to use it. So the program is designed to be emptied. Again, I haven't really designed like a surplus program or a smart program that... Ooh, we're having some backup issues. See? This is a bug that's happening. I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing this. It shouldn't. And when I come back over here, it's obviously doing its job. But there we go. And this over here was actually supposed to stop once we had 200 circuits, but obviously they're going to be used up, so I probably would do once. Yeah, the spooling here is going crazy. We'll just stop that manually. I had a tertiary thing over here to where once the next thing after circuits was done, or yeah, it was done. Basically, once we had one inserter, it would turn off and it would filter. So I could probably just do that. That'd be smart. But basically, yeah, you gotta be pretty smart to what you want to produce. And the longest thing that it took to figure this out was basically how to make these filter what we needed to. And basically, I always had them filter the end product of everything, you know, that we needed. So it's like, you know, once we had 100 belts, well, we would filter in for build code 3. Well, build code 3 is actually the inserters. So it's kind of counterintuitive. So it's like, okay, if I want to build inserters, I got to be done with the belts. Obviously, make the belts be the filtering condition, you know, for the smart inserter. So that was a little bit counterintuitive. So yeah, now that we have that, this shouldn't filter anymore. See? We have more than 3 coal. The cabling stops filtering. It stops jamming up the belts. Hopefully this stopped fucking up over here. Looks good. Okay, and we're releasing all the fast inserters so they can be built into Smart. Smart is coming around. We're filtering that, and then soon we will have the assembly machine 1s. Come on, come on. And it looks like we still have some metal. That's good. Still have copper. And the copper here... Oh yeah, the copper will always be filtering. That's something else I need to work on. I need the copper to stop filtering. Oh, I know how. Less than 3. As long as it's less than 3, filter away. But once it reaches 3 or greater, which obviously reaches 3 right here, just like the cabling, it'll stop. So that's an easy way just to get everything in line with this system, if you guys wanted a copy of the build. But everything fits on one belt. What are we missing here? We are missing electronic circuits. 1 and 1. Okay. So yeah, this build needs a little bit more electronic circuits. I kind of came up short on that. Again, I rounded up and the circuits were a bit close for this build. The circuits, I planned for 190, but I rounded up to 200, but everything is always estimated to be over. I figured they'd build enough circuits, and they might have, but I might have also screwed up a little bit on some of the basic stuff. Let me just go ahead and pop some out real quick. And that'll make it easy. Because we're going to need some more circuits for the other stuff. But yeah, as you guys can see, very efficient system. And everything's going to get, you know, pretty much filtered in. Everything can shut down. That's the nice part, is you have a control. Like, let's just say you're like, fuck, I don't need this to run right now. You know, you could just put in the copper plate. Everything would stop, and you'd have to start the program over. But again, you'd have complete control over what's running and when. And that's something that, you know, in Factorio, it's like, fuck, if you don't want things to build, or, you know, you don't have really any control or way to make everything stop. And now with this, at the very least, you can program your factories to, hey, all stop, all shut down. And I think that's, like, really nice. Shit, everything needs an off button. Okay, so let's go ahead and start throwing the circuits in there. Okay, so yeah, build code 6 is running, and we'll get the circuits to the smart inserter. There we go. And the cool part, like I said, everything gets picked up again. Nothing goes to waste. This is really, really efficient. I love it. I really do. There's just so many ways and places you could take this factory and build it. Definitely my best creation to date. There we go. Getting those smart inserters in there. And this actually, you remember in my playthroughs, guys, where like I wouldn't use the faster belts really unless it was like super packed? This actually gives me a reason to use the faster belts, you know, because you need more room to maneuver because more shit's on the belt. So this actually was like a strong motivator. You don't need to build that many more of like the belts. So I liked that a lot. Alright, so we're getting this in here. And there's the 10th. Okay. So, now what should have happened... There we go. Now, we are running build code 7. Build code 7 is our assembly machine 1s. And see, I haven't touched anything. I could have been off expanding my factory, you know, fighting biters and stuff, knowing that my program is running and getting me all the basics that I need, you know, and it's very simple to get that started. It's really great. And this is going to build up for us real quick. So to kind of skip ahead, well, maybe you guys want to see it build all the way. We've spent this much time, you know, kind of going through it. And again, those of you guys might be saying that, well, this is kind of slow. You know, this is running kind of slow, and you can definitely have it as fast as you want. You could have it to where there's like 2 or 3 different assembly machines, you know, just next to each other, and to where they double up. Basically, the amount of time why it's taken so long is because I only have 1 of each of these factories. I'd probably recommend maybe like 3 iron wheels, 3 cabling, and you would triple the speed, and then you could keep everything else at just one factory, and it would build incredibly fast. So the only problem is you would also need to triple the amount of pickup you have here. So, and that's fine. You can easily do that. You know, I mean, just as long as you have 1 output for each variable build code that you have here, it'll work just fine. So again, this is highly expandable and moddable and controllable. You know, my favorites. Here we go. Getting those in there. 6. Here comes 7, 8. Good stuff. By the way, I love Factorio's new sounds. Oh man. Everything sounds like a factory now. I love it. Okay, 8. Here comes 9 and 10. We can just speed this up a little bit. There we go. And 10. Sweet. So, now we should have build code 8. Oh, it has to be greater than 10, so it'll be 11. And what are we waiting on? Oh, just some metal plates? Oh, it ran out of metal? That's fine. Let's go ahead and just put some metal in it real quick. Actually, there we go. Because we'll need some for the other one. Yeah, you need to make sure things are stocked. That's like one other thing. But again, like most of these I've just turned off, I think. Like, yeah, I disconnected this whole thing just to make sure nothing overflooded. You would probably want to build a central buffer station to where it would dispatch once it detected that this station needed supplies. You could build a dispatch station to be like, hey, alright, dispatch supplies to here. And then, you know, you could even have it running by train if you wanted to where this is like, you know, a remote building facility. Alright, so yeah, we already entered build code 8. So here go our assembling machines. They're going to go all the way around. They'll be put on the line. We'll get that, and then we will get to see the master reset mechanism, which will be cool. They'll probably have to make a few passes. And yeah, you guys already saw that, so you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And then we'll just help it along here, just to speed things up. You guys don't have to like watch it go all the way around. But yeah, you can easily speed this up. This is just like one of the smaller ways I thought I could build it. I wanted to get it down to like a minimalist version. You know, there would be something useful for you. And there we go. There's 1, 2. Need some wheels. There you go. What do you need? Iron plates? There we go. I already have some in my inventory. So, but we'll just let it filter to 10. That's fine. We'll just put 10 in there. Cool. It'll get filtered over there, and then you'll get to see the magic happen. Sweet! Check it out. There we go. Boom. And suddenly, everything goes silent. Nothing is dispatching. I said nothing is dispatching. Oh, there we go. So yeah, nothing will be dispatched at that point, because yeah, that's supposed to be a grader. Whoops. It's greater than 2. There we go. That's the right build condition. Okay. So yeah, obviously a few little things to work out there, but I've been tinkering with this. I've been building on it for about 6 hours to figure out this concept. So everything will shut down. Everything will get sorted over here. And again, some iron wheels keep escaping. I'll have to figure that out. But everything goes back home. Everything gets put back into its boxes. Nothing else is being built at all. So, and once you want to run the program again, simply go over here. Bam. Put that in. It'll filter out. And if you want to run it again, do this. It'll get filtered back around. The stone and the coal will go back in. And then as long as you're missing those resources, it'll put it back in. One problem might be if like something got overproduced, like the cabling. You know, obviously you'd want to go back through and pick it all up. But obviously this got filtered in again because, you know, hey, we were missing the... Oh yeah, we already had the 10 over here. So basically a small amount of material got deployed, some of it got processed, but it's going to all get filtered in. Basically what you want to do is just come over, pick it all back up, you know, what you need, and then, you know, you could put it back in and let it all run again. So everything's under control here, as you can see. Bam. Cool. Well, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this Factorio here. It's been a blast doing this. And if I come up with any more ideas, I will show them to you. So I'd love to see other people's ideas if you've already done this and have more advanced circuit factories being built, or if you've built any cool logic gate factories. I'd really be interested in seeing those. Anyways, take it easy, guys, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.